What's up, YouTube? Hope everything is well. Today's video will be a very interesting one and I think a fun one also. 1 year ago I made a video with the title My 5 Goals for the Next 12 Months, and today I will revisit that video and see if I end up reaching those goals. If in the end up enjoying this video, don't forget to leave a like, means a lot to me and is honestly super easy to do it. So for you, super easy, for me means a lot. Do not forget the like. Let's move on into the disclaimer. Will be a short one but a very important one. No financial advice, I'll always do your own research. No one can predict the market. Fundamentals are your best friend in the long run, and I think this market is a very good example of that. Keep in mind that I'm a collector first and an investor second. Any card I will show in this video or any video I can eventually be buying or selling. On the description you can find a eBay affiliate link that supports the channel. Same goes for Patreon, so any type of support again. Thank you so much for that. English is not my main language. Any types of mispronunciations, I'm sorry. So, let's move on into the topic of the video. And like I was saying, 1 year ago I recorded this video, my 5 goals for the next 12 months. You guys can find that video on my YouTube channel if you guys want to watch that video first. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of things end up changing in the last 12 months. The world is in a completely different place. And yeah, I mean, recession seems like a given at this point, a lot of inflation. So saying that the soccer card market is down, I think is fair in a macro perspective. Of course, certain things are still performing quite well, but I also think it's fair to be transparent on this. The market 1 year ago, for most of us, ended up being in a better place if you want to sell, if this even makes any type of sense. So, but guess what? You can apply this logic to the crypto market, to the stock market. Everything right now seems down and there is a lot of fear, which makes this time a weird time and probably a difficult time for a lot of people. Having goals in your journey is important, but adaptation is also quite crucial. So in this video I will share a couple of goals that end up missing, but missing is probably even a strong word, in the sense that it's not that I actually could end up reaching that goal, but guess what? With time I thought, you know what, this goal does not make a lot of sense anymore for the way I'm approaching the market, so I will move into different thing. But having goals is key, but adaptation tends to be also quite important. I feel that I know much more about the market now than I did 1 year ago, and I would probably feel the same 1 year from now. Today I will just revisit past goals, but I will make a new video soon with my next 5 goals for the next upcoming 12 months. Let's move on into the first goal, and this is actually a screenshot from the old video, and I said complete my dream 5 cards. And as you guys know, I love pre-modern. Pre-modern is my favorite area in the soccer card market. Why? Because I think demographics are great and I love to connect memories with cards. And I cannot do that in vintage since I never saw those guys play. I think the vintage market is a great market and I also love to collect vintage. But if I had to choose one, and you guys are aware of this, I would go for pre-modern every day because of the nostalgia factor, because of the history that I have with those players. So my 5 dream cards are, I would say, very mainstream, to be fair. Most of them are quite difficult. I would say all of them actually are difficult to find, or at least the entry point is not for all people, especially having all 5. And I'm talking about both mega cracks for Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, Panini Foot Zinedine Zidane 92 and Ronaldo Football 95. And at the time I was missing just one, Ronaldinho 99 Campeonato Brasileiro. Ronaldinho, if you guys follow my channel, you guys are probably aware that he's my favorite player. I think Ronaldinho was a game changer in soccer and up making me feel passion again by the game, and because of that I love to collect Ronaldinho. But finding the rookie is not easy at all, and the entry point was too much for me at one point in time. Gladly, I was able to acquire one recently. I bought a PSA 4. I think I made a very good deal on that Ronaldinho, and this year was a grind for me, like I expected to be fair. I got the Ronaldinho recently, and of course I'm very happy with that. But being totally transparent with you guys, I do not like to buy pre-modern stickers from Brazil Brazil, since I feel awareness is probably still quite low there. And I'm always a little bit afraid that if I invest a lot in Brazilian stickers, especially talking about Panini, I can get disappointed on pop reports long run. But to each their own, because there is also other argument. Yes, awareness potentially can be low on Brazil, but maybe the auto destruction of stickers in general, specific more even in Brazil, is also quite huge. So there is arguments on both sides. Of course, I'm very happy owning this Ronaldinho, and I think he's a great card. In the future, I might try to upgrade to a different grade. I'm not sure about that, since for me the most important thing is to own. To have the card, and I'm more a collector than an investor. That's the reality. So very happy with this PSA 4, and I finally have my 5 dream cards. But of course, my goals will keep going to a different level, if that makes sense. So I said my 5 dream cards. Maybe now I try to upgrade 1 or 2 cards. Maybe I instead of 5 dream cards, I go to my 5 dream cards in vintage instead of, in this case, instead of pre-modern. So there is a lot of goals that I can still accomplish on the soccer card market, and this was just one. I ended up getting a lot of key cards this year. Basically, for example, I bought almost every Maradona rookie, talking about 77 discs and 78 releases. I also ended up buying a Cruyff, actually 2 Cruyff Palmeiras Campeões Europeus Football. One I end up selling, the other one is upgrading, and this is part of my journey, okay? Like I was saying, I love pre-modern, but I also play in vintage and even in ultra-modern to certain level. Of course, way less than vintage and pre-modern, since I honestly love organic scarcity versus manufactured scarcity, or in other words, fake scarcity. But I also go to different markets. Don't think I'm just obsessed with... To be fair, I'm obsessed with pre-modern, but I'm not only obsessed with pre-modern. So this goal, very happy to end up completing my 5 dream cards. My next goal was a different one, complete my 5 dream Yu-Gi-Oh cards, in this case Blue Eyes White Dragon, in grades PSA 7 to PSA 10. And spoiler alert, I ended up missing this goal. At one point I was very close. I will not spend a lot of time on this one, since I know you guys don't care about this stuff that much. But I ended up missing this goal. Why? Not because I don't care about the Yu-Gi-Oh market anymore. I just feel like that the soccer card market is so undervalued when I compare with other markets, that I have been focusing more and more into the soccer card market. I always love alternative markets, especially because sometimes you feel burnout with the market. There is a deal that you end up missing, that you may feel bad because of that, and taking a look at different markets just to clear your head sometimes is great. So I still love to look at the Pokemon market, Yu-Gi-Oh market, Magic the Gathering, etc. But end up missing this goal. I don't feel bad by that. I actually feel this was more adaptation to the market than me missing the goal, because at one point I was actually very close to complete those 5 Blue Eyes White Dragons, but end up going to another soccer card. And again, all my budget is limited, your budget is limited, we need to make choices. That being said, not sad at all with me missing this goal. Maybe in the future I will revisit this one. For now, I'm focused a lot into the soccer card market. I'm very bullish in the soccer card market, as you guys are aware, and I think, look, I collect different TCGs, I collect different stuff, but I don't see none of the other markets coming close to the soccer card market in terms of potential. Maybe this is a crazy take for you, it's just my belief on the soccer card market. Number 3, selling and trading duplicates, and this one I would be quite transparent, I was very successful, but this is still a work in progress. Why I'm saying this is still a work in progress? Well, the reality is I still have bulk submissions at PSA, I have cards at SGC, Beckett, etc. Name the grading company, most likely I have cards there, and with time I will sell more and more. And one thing that I also have been realizing lately is I don't like duplicated that much. As a collector, for me, having one copy is more than enough. And you guys go, oh, but you sometimes share cards, share photos with duplicated for Messi rookies, for Maradona rookies, for example. Yes, but that's my investor side a lot of times. But in the long run, let's say my ultimate goal is actually to own just one card for Maradona in a specific release. I guess Libre Stampas is a very good example since I have three of those. But in the future, I would be very happy with just one and trading those two to other cards that I don't own that are similar value that I also would be very happy to have in my collection. Sometimes if I feel the card is very undervalued, of course, I make a bigger position, and later, when I feel the market end up recognizing what I saw, I may trade those to different cards that will fit better on my collection, on my path, on my journey. So I ended up completing this goal. I sold Iniestas, I sold Cruyffs, etc. But this is still a work in progress. So I will still be selling and I will still be buying. But I guess you can apply this logic all the time. I'm always buying, I'm always selling. I think this is crucial to stay. I think it's very important to have a cash flow when it comes to collectibles. If you are just putting money into the market, there is a good chance that you probably will not stay alive very long on this market for a lot of reasons, a lot of burnout, and I think sometimes taking profits is crucial to motivate you more, even to go to bigger deals. So, number 4, looking into other markets. And this one, I think I end up doing this not in the way I was expecting, but I've been buying in the last couple of months a lot of video games. I'm talking about sealed video games. I end up not going into the coin market, maybe in the future. For now, I'm more focused on video games. Why? Because it's honestly similar to soccer. My connection with video games is stronger than my connection with coins, because I remember playing most of the games you guys are seeing on the screen. I'm still making, I would say, a big submission to send to what the games. I'm speculating in different games, sports games, Magic the Gathering games that I feel that potentially there is a crossover between Magic the Gathering collectors and video games. Different conversation for another day, to be fair, but I would say yes, end up reaching this goal, but very slow. So there is even an argument that you can make that this goal was a miss in the sense that I'm not in the level that I was expecting 1 year ago. This goes into a similar logic that was with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm so focused in the soccer card market that those I need to put a little bit in pause. But it's still something that I'm very interesting, especially because I feel like when you go to other markets, your knowledge gets stronger. I mean, if you just collect soccer, nothing wrong with that, by the way, but you can get caught almost into a bubble. You can get caught into your own world, if that makes sense. If you go to the Pokemon market, you get different ideas. If you go to the video game market, you get different ideas. And I think that's super important. I think long run you can benefit tremendous of that. So moving on to the final goal, and this was a very important goal to be fair, probably the most important one since this is very related with my channel, was 1k subscribers and 50 Patreon members. I was around 600 members when I recorded the video. Actually, let's say close to 700 members. So saying 1k, I was lowballing myself a little bit, to be fair, and I had 20 active patrons on Patreon. Right now, I have way more than that, so I guess my goal was completely, I obliterated my expectations, if that makes sense. I'm 1.k subscribers and I have 69, no jokes please, active patrons, and I think those are beautiful numbers, but we are just getting started. Patreon members, a shout out to all of you guys. I think is an amazing community, and look, in the end I put a lot of hours making videos for YouTube, participating on Discord, participating on my Patreon community, so I think it's fair to see those numbers grow. But again, thank you so much, because you guys are the reason I'm doing well on YouTube. Well, of course, in this case, in a micro perspective. If you look at the soccer card market, I guess you can say I'm doing well. If you look in a macro perspective, I'm still a joke of a channel almost on this giant YouTube world. But like I said, I will make new goals. Probably could be maybe my next video, maybe next week, I'm not sure. And maybe instead of saying 2k subscribers, I will say 3k at the end of the next year. In the next 12 months, something like that. So it does not matter that much, to be fair. I think the important stuff is, look, a lot of people right now are struggling in my perspective. We are facing difficult times, but and there is a lot of content creators that end up disappearing off off YouTube. I'm still trying to put content out there, even though my numbers, I would say 6 months ago, end up being a little bit better than they are now. Does not matter that much as long I still have a core audience that supports me, and the Patreon is a very good example of that. So thank you so much for all my patrons, and thank you so much even if you are not a patron, but if you watch my videos, that also tends to help me quite a lot. To finish this, I will promote myself a little bit more. So there is a new Q&A every week on Patreon talking about Patreon, but I think this is important to be honest. If you want to join my Patreon, you need to pay around $10, but I try to provide enough value there. I put a new Q&A every week, and I put extra audio on Saturday. In the last couple of months, I end up answering more than 300 questions, which is even quite crazy to think about. But let's say again, $10 is a lot of money to you. Don't feel any type of pressure to join my Patreon. One thing that is free is actually joining my Discord. We are more than 500 members, and I think it's an amazing place to learn about the soccer card market. So consider to join both, but at least join my Discord. Conclusion, and you guys already know the conclusion: collect things you love, price what you pay, values what you get. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Was a fun one, not a very serious one for me. But yeah, I mean, in the end, it's also important to have fun on YouTube, and I've been having a lot of fun, especially with the podcast. So don't forget to leave a like, and see you guys soon.